Welcome to Google Cloud and ETCIO, Build What's Next, Chapter 3. I'm Jaykrishan Sudhish. I'm a technical account manager here at Google Cloud. Today, I would be covering building serverless apps with flexibility and portability using Cloud Run. Before I start, what is serverless? If I ask 10 people, I might get 15 different answers, right? And according to us, serverless has two pieces to it. One is the operational model, and the other one is a programming model. In the operational model, as you guessed right, we would basically be giving you a managed services where we would be managing the servers. We would be updating the patches and updates from the security aspect, and you only pay for what you use. And from a programming model, it's completely service-based, and it is event-driven. At the end of the day, what you would be doing is utilizing a managed services without spending much time in configuring things like load balancing or sharding or event servers at the backend. So from Google's standpoint, we have serverless option services available in many categories, right? From data and analytics, database and storage, messaging, DevOps, etc. But for today's session, I would be concentrating on the services which is available on compute, which is 3 of the services which we offer as part of serverless. And that is Cloud Functions, App Engine, and Cloud Run. So from a Cloud Function perspective, Cloud Function has been live for last 1.5 years, and it gives the developers a simple environment for them to take a small snippet of code, like 3 lines of code, and make it available in the cloud as a service. And it has all the characteristics of serverlessness, which means that it can auto scale. Based on the load, you can actually go up and down, scale from 0 to all the way up to handle your load, which is almost like infinity. And Cloud Function responds to events. When I mean events, events can be triggered from a message in a PubSub or a file being modified within Google Cloud Storage services. And it can also respond to HTTP events, that is REST-based services. And just like any other serverless, you only pay for what you use. And then the other next option which we have from serverless is App Engine. And App Engine has been in the market from 2008. So basically, App Engine has been one of the first serverless offering in the market. And we have evolved this service over the years. And today it supports multiple programming languages. Initially, it started with Java. Now it supports Go, Node.js, etc. And App Engine provided developers with a unique opportunity to just concentrate on their code and business functionality than concentrating on or spending time on building infrastructure and thinking about how it has to scale. So with a simple command, gcloud app deploy, a developer could actually upload the entire application code and have it run and scale according to their requirement. So App Engine use case has always been when I want to build some application and expose it to the outside world for end consumer to consume, right? And again, with App Engine, you only pay when your application runs. So we have gone back to the customers and given these options, but their question is, well and good. You have Cloud Function today, you have App Engine, but what about the application which I have already written? The native libraries, or what if the programming language which I use internally is not supported in App Engine or in Cloud Function? So this has led us to basically explore other options to provide serverless to our customers. And one of the thing which we have seen in the market is the growth of containers. Containers has been exponentially growing from an adoption perspective, both from enterprise and organizations. And we want to make sure that you get the same flexibility of containers. So today, you can find tooling to containerize pretty much anything, right? And containerization also brings standardization, which means that you can promote your code from development to test to UAT, UAT to production, and have the same application experience. So we want to bring the flexibility of containers and velocity of serverless and the developer experience of serverless, and we came up what we call as Cloud Run as a service. So using Cloud Run, today you can actually have a container promoted to production within a few seconds. And Cloud Run has all the characteristics of serverless. And we also give you another extra option of deployment. You can actually have the same user experience of Cloud Run in both GKE as well as GCP, as well as on-prem using Anthos. Now, just what is containers? Just to give an option, what is the flexibility containers provides, right? Containers, using containers, I can bring any library I want, any language I want, and it also brings, it opens up an ecosystem of what we call as standard base images, which is available in Docker Hub. So you can actually use those standard base images from Docker Hub. And it also gives you the standardization in packaging and distribution of your containers. So there's no more passing around .zip files. It's basically a standard, industry-wide standard. So you can actually take your application from one environment to the other and have the same experience. So as a developer, what are the steps that you basically follow? You code first. As a developer, I have my application written in certain code, which I am very used to, and then I build it, and then I run it. So there are certain steps that you need to take care before containerizing for a Cloud Run. So one thing is, in Cloud Run, the contract is all your requests are passed through HTTP. And also it is stateless, which means that you cannot store any state locally within the container. If you do want to store something, you have to store some persistent data, you can always use Firestore or Spanner, and you can actually have it stored over there. And from a build perspective, we give you a multiple option. So the first option is you can build using Docker locally, which means that you can have your build process which you're following in organization today. Once you have the image ready, you can push that image to our container registry, and from container registry, you can have it deployed into Cloud Run. The second option is to use a GCP tool, which is called as a cloud build, using which you will be able to remotely build your Docker containers and have the same pushed into Cloud Registry and from Cloud Registry to Cloud Run. So this also gives you an automated CI/CD pipeline, which you will be able to use. Now for running my containers, what I do is from Cloud Registry, I have two different options, right? I can use the GCP console to easily select the container I want, which I have uploaded into the registry, the image which I have uploaded, and I deploy it from there. Or I can use the command line gcloud command to basically do the deployment. Now, what I'm going to do right now is do a quick demo for you. In this demo, I have a sample application. It's a Node.js based application, and in this application, it's just an HTML page. It's a one-pager application. All it does is it loads a couple of real estate details, and when I select some property, I'll get the schools nearby and some more details about the property. But what I wanted to show you is when I run it locally. So ls. It is available in my port 8080. This is the application which I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is basically build a Docker container out of it and push it to Cloud Registry. And from Cloud Registry, I'm going to deploy it into Cloud Run. So first thing I need to do is create a Docker file. As you can see, this is a simple Docker file which I have. It uses Node, and all I'm doing is just packaging all the dependencies from package.json and then doing a command of start once the web starts. And to containerize it, all I need to do is use the gcloud command, gcloud build submit and hyphen, and what this specified is a gcloud cloud registry.io, and sample one-pager app is my project, and this is the tag to which I'll be uploading. So let me go back to the console. While the build happens, let me go back to the console. This is my GCP console. I am going to the Cloud Registry from here and see if my build is completed and there is an image which is available for me to use within the Cloud Run. So I think the build is currently going on, and we would be able to, in a few seconds, we will be able to see that the image has already been pushed into G-Cloud and ready for us from Cloud Run for deployment. So in the meantime, I will go down to Cloud Run, and in Cloud Run, what I can do is the simple steps like create service, and once I click create service, I can select the image which I want. So as you can see, the home sample which I just created out here, which I pushed to Cloud Registry, is available for me for my deployment. So I can just select the image which I want to do. So you can also have multiple builds and multiple images uploaded to the same tag. Once I click on this and continue, all I need to do is select the region where I want to actually have my application run, and just allow external access by clicking this, and just click create. So what is currently happening now is it is creating a revision for this application within Cloud Run, and also coming up with all the routing rules. And you can actually see now within few seconds there would be an HTTPS URL which is available for me to access my application. There you go. And with HTTPS, which I mean that I have already configured SSL for my application. So anybody who has done SSL configuration manually, you know how difficult it is. And we did all this in few seconds right here. And my same application now is actually available for and available through the cloud. So let me go back to my slides and show you. So what we did right now is basically build the application, right? And containerized it, and from Cloud Registry we send it to Cloud Run, and an HTTPS application was available for you. So the Cloud Run application is completely serverless. It has all the characteristics of serverless, which means that you only focus on your code, no infrastructure or servers or nodes that you need to manage from your side. We created an SSL configuration for you for your application to be accessed through HTTPS. We took care of its availability, and Cloud Run applications can scale from 0 all the way up to take care of all your requests which is coming in. And when I meant 0, the scale of application goes down to 0. When there is no request, we do not have any instance running, which means that you only pay when you use, and what you pay is for the compute you use, which is CPU, memory, and the request, and we go up to the granularity of 100 milliseconds. Now this is all well and good, right? Now as some customers have asked me, okay, well and good, now you're taken the container up and given a serverless experience for me, but what happens if I have already invested a lot on Kubernetes, right? I have a large Kubernetes cluster, I want to manage how my application scales, I want to use my Kubernetes cluster to deploy my containers. Can I get the same serverless experience for my developers which Cloud Run gives you? And some of the options they say is, I have control over scheduling, I have control over my logging and monitoring, storage volumes, etc. and etc. But what it also brings is the complexity. As a developer, you not only write code, but you also have to think about containerizing it, uploading it to registry, then opening up to external traffic. So all this complexity is taken away by what we have an option called as Cloud Run for Anthos. Right? So it is the same Cloud Run experience which you have for managed services, but right now running in your in your Kubernetes clusters. So you are leveraging your existing investment in Kubernetes and still getting the same developer experience for serverless. So we do have now two options, right? One is Cloud Run for fully managed service and Cloud Run for Anthos. And Cloud Run for Anthos is nothing but the Cloud Run which runs on GK cluster. So I want to just go back to the demo once again and just show you how this can be enabled, right? So the same services, when I go and create a new service, what I also get an option here is I can select the image once again, the same image which I selected, continue. And instead of selecting a Cloud Run fully managed, I select Cloud Run for Anthos, right? And what gets listed here is all the GKE cluster which I have currently enabled Cloud Run support within my GCP project. So I can select that and allow external traffic and click create. So I'm not going to go through the entire process. You can test it out yourself from your end. I will go back to the demo. So from Cloud Run perspective, now you have two options. One is the fully managed option, where you do not take care about your nodes or clusters, which is available for you to manage. We manage from Google Cloud, we manage it for you. And all you take care is write your code, upload it to Cloud Registry and deploy it, and we give you one URL. And the other option for you is Cloud Run for Anthos, where you are taking leverage of your existing Kubernetes cluster and you manage your cluster, but we deploy your application for you and have the same seamless auto-scaling experience Cloud Run provides on GKE cluster, which means that you can actually scale down to even 0 in Cloud Run for Anthos. And this also gives you a different multiple deployment options. One is you can have a GKE cluster in GCP and deploy it there, or on-prem. You can have it deployed on on-prem or any other cloud providers. So as a start, as a developer, you can always start with Cloud Run, which is the fully managed version. And later, when you are want to have more control on the infrastructure or the cluster and how it scales up, you can always move to Cloud Run with GKE or Cloud Run for Anthos. To get started with, you can always visit these pages to learn more about Cloud Run, also what other serverless options we have as part of Google Cloud. And you can always reach back to us if you have any more queries regarding serverless options. And with that, thank you. Thank you very much for listening to me.